Let's get right to our Big Apple political commentator, Andrew Kirtzman, with a closer look at how New Yorkers are taking the news. Andrew, so great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Let's hear what do you think? How do New Yorkers feel about this?
I think New Yorkers are very curious about this. The taxi drivers and Uber drivers aren't so thrilled about it. They've held press conferences denouncing it. It used to be that Uber was seen as a threat to taxi drivers. Now driverless cars are seen as a threat to Uber drivers and taxi drivers. And the unions are kind of using every argument you can think of. They're kind of pulling on kind of this romanticized version of taxi drivers as urban philosophers, people who talk about their lives and ask you about your mother and your families, and not every New Yorker feels that way about taxi drivers.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm sure a lot of them would enjoy the peace and quiet of a Waymo.
But we talk about, Andrew, New York being a different animal from some of these other cities where Waymo is in use. You've got notorious jaywalkers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all those bikes now, the bike lanes, and how difficult that is to navigate, even if you're a pedestrian, let alone a driver. And we should also point out, Andrew, right now during this test phase, the Waymo cars do have a human in there.
That's right.
It just seems fraught with possible problems here in New York.
Right. Well, I mean, Waymo has lots of statistics showing that they're safer than cars with, traditional drivers. But New York City is starting very small. They've just approved a pilot project just for 1 month with just 8 cars. Right. So it's a small test. But, they're kind of cracking the door open to, something that'll be much larger. And, there was a lot of opposition in other cities which have, similar traffic issues like San Francisco. And they were setting Waymo cars on fire. It was a big controversy. And now they're doing, I think, over 1 million rides a day maybe it's a week in San Francisco. It's a lot.
Taxi drivers have been through a lot over the past decades with Uber and now driverless cars. And safety is paramount. That's the question. How far are you going, right? Like, are you going right down Broadway? Maybe I'd get into a driverless car. But if I'm going to be going across town, I'm going into the boroughs, I don't know, right?
Listen, but Andrew, I have to ask you, as a native New Yorker and someone who's lived in New Jersey a long time, isn't this part of our cultural experience, our unique driving style? Isn't something going to somehow be lost here?
What do you mean, that they'd actually be safe?
Exactly. Pay attention. Pay attention. Got to be a little sharper.
Let's not knock those hardworking taxi drivers.
Right.
I know ex-mayor Bill de Blasio said, really bad idea. What about the current mayor? Is he on board with this?
De Blasio is against it. I mean, de Blasio is, he's very, very pro-union. He's looking at it perhaps from an ideological point of view. But, he has a point. I mean, New York City is a very, very tough town to get around in. If you take a look at a Waymo car, it's got all of these bells and whistles. You got like computerized, whatever they are, radars, and lots of stuff that has been heavily tested and has proved mostly successful in other cities. It's not, these guys have tested these things for years now. This isn't just kind of plopping these things down in the city. So I wouldn't, I would give them kind of a benefit of doubt at this point. They've been pretty successful.
All right, we're going to let you test one out first for us.
Yeah, you go first. And I will tell you, Andrew, the next time I get into a taxi, I am going to think of the concept of urban philosopher, thanks to you, and I'm going to smile. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here on Connecting America, Andrew. Appreciate it.